You feel it before you name it. A quiet screaming in the marrow of your bones, a haunting sense that you are a ghost in your own life, moving through the world unseen, your voice a whisper lost in the hurricane of everyone else's agenda, your deepest potential a staggering work of art locked in a vault no one has the combination for, living a life of muted colors and polite compromises, screaming on the inside with a fury that could power cities, but presenting to the world a pleasant, agreeable static, a background character in the epic story of your own existence, and this dissonance, this chasm between the giant you know you could be and the footnote you have allowed yourself to become is a quiet agony you carry like a second skeleton, a daily death by 1,000 tiny surrenders, trading the roaring wildfire of your ambition for the safe, contained heat of a pilot light, convincing yourself that visibility is vanity, that rocking the boat is reckless, that your time will come if you just keep your head down and work harder within the confines they have given you. But that time never comes. It is always just over the horizon, a tomorrow that forever retreats, and you are left with the settling dust of mediocrity on your shoulders and the gnawing question, is this all there is? This ends now, right here. This is your declaration of independence from the prison of the periphery. We are not here to ask for permission to be seen. We are here to engineer a presence so compelling, so intrinsically valuable, so magnetically authentic that the world must adjust its axis to account for you. We are going to dismantle the architecture of your invisibility brick by brick and rebuild you into a landmark. This is the process of going from invisible to utterly, powerfully unignorable. The first non-negotiable step is the complete and total assassination of the ghost you have been pretending to be. That persona of pleasantry, of playing small to make others comfortable, of dimming your light so as not to cast a shadow, it must be executed with prejudice. You have been using a communal map to navigate a territory that is yours alone to claim, a map drawn by the fears of your parents, the limitations of your peers, the cynical whispers of a society that profits from your doubt, and you have been following its directions straight into the quicksand of averageness. Tear the map. The only compass that matters now is the one buried in your chest, the true north of your own primal conviction. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose, but we will call it your Obsidian Core, that one thing so central to your being, so fueled by a deep and personal why, that to abandon it would be a form of spiritual suicide. It is not a job title. It is not a vague desire for success. It is a cause, a crusade, a problem you are so obsessed with solving that it becomes the filter for every decision, the source of every ounce of your energy. Find it. It is the molten center of you, currently crusted over by layers of should and can't and what will they think. You must drill down to it no matter how painful the pressure. Ask yourself with brutal honesty, what makes me come alive? What injustice, what inefficiency, what unmet need ignites a fire in me that no amount of cynicism can extinguish? What would I pursue if failure were impossible and applause were irrelevant? That is your clue. Your Ford did not want to build cars. He wanted to democratize movement, to puncture the isolation of farm and town, to put a world on wheels. That was his Obsidian Core, and from it flowed the Model T, the assembly line, an industrial revolution. Your Disney did not want to draw cartoons. He wanted to weaponize wonder, to package hope and sell it to a despairing world in the depths of the Great Depression. That was his Obsidian Core, and from it flowed not just a mouse, but an empire of imagination. You must find yours. Write it. Carve it into the wall of your mind. Let it be so specific it aches. I am here to bridge this gap, to solve this problem, to build this system, to master this craft and elevate it into an art form, to create a sanctuary for this idea, to become the living embodiment of this principle. This is not a goal, it is a gravitational field. Once established, it begins to pull the necessary components of its own realization toward you: the people, the knowledge, the opportunities. It organizes chaos into order. It makes you decisive where others are doubtful, because every choice is measured against the core. Does this serve it? If not, the answer is a non-negotiable, unapologetic no. Your Obsidian Core is your sovereignty. It is the reason you can walk away from good to pursue great, from popular to pursue potent, from immediate gain to pursue enduring legacy. It is the foundation of your unignorable presence, for nothing is more magnetic than a human being unified by a deep, unwavering purpose. From this core, we must forge the instrument of its manifestation, a mind engineered for victory. This is beyond positive thinking. This is the deliberate, surgical construction of a mental fortress, what Hill termed the mind workshop. You must become the architect of your own subconscious, for it is the soil from which all your actions, habits, and ultimately your reality will grow. Most people are tenants in the rattling tenement of their own minds, living amidst the clutter of inherited beliefs, past failures, and societal chatter. You must become the landlord, the demolition crew, the master builder. It begins with the ruthless eviction of the mental squatters, the stories of "I'm not ready," "I don't have the right connections," "It's too late," "Who am I to?" These are not truths, they are parasites wearing the mask of wisdom. You must starve them. Then you must install new tenants, convictions of such strength they feel like memories of the future. This is the practice of creative visualization, not as a fluffy daydream, but as a neurological rehearsal of such intensity that your brain cannot distinguish it from lived experience. You must build a sensory-rich, emotional cathedral in your mind where your future is already real. Do not just see the office, feel the weight of the decision you are making there. Hear the specific timbre of respect in a colleague's voice. Smell the ink on the contract that changes everything. See yourself not as you are, but as the person who has already achieved the aim. Calm where you are now anxious, decisive where you now hesitate, generous from a position of abundance, not scarcity. This mental blueprint, revisited with religious fervor every single day, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, does something profound. It rewires your reticular activating system, the brain's filtering mechanism. It programs your mind to see the opportunities, resources, and connections that align with the blueprint, while filtering out the distractions that do not. It turns you into a goal-seeking missile. Edison saw his light bulb not as 1,000 failures, but as 1,000 discoveries of what wouldn't work, each one a step ordained by the mental image of a world illuminated. He was calibrating his reality to match his internal picture. Your mind must become a sanctuary for this future self. Protect it. Feed it with study, with the biographies of those who have walked the path before you, with deep work that stretches its capabilities. Do not pollute it with the mental junk food of endless scrolling, gossip, and fear-based media. Your mind is your most sacred workshop. Keep it clean, sharp, and stocked with the finest materials. An unignorable mind thinks differently. It sees patterns where others see chaos. It asks, how can it be done, when others list reasons why it cannot? This cultivated mental superiority is your first and most powerful point of differentiation. It is what will make people lean in and listen, even before you've said a word. But a mind of steel requires a body of resilience, not for vanity, but for voltage. Your physical vessel is the amplifier of your mental signal. You cannot project an unignorable presence from a platform of fatigue, frailty, and neglected health. The discipline of the body is the foundational discipline for everything else. It is the daily, tangible proof that you are in command of yourself. It is where you practice overcoming resistance, where you learn to push past the point of comfort, where you build the physical correlate of your mental fortitude. Look to the Titans. Carnegie was a relentless walker, traversing miles daily to think and plan. Roosevelt built a frail body into a weapon through sheer will. Their outer strength mirrored their inner resolve. You must adopt the same ethos. Your body is not an afterthought. It is the instrument of your ambition. Forge it through consistent, demanding physical ritual, not for the mirror, but for the mindset. The clarity that follows intense exertion, the confidence born from mastering your own physiology, the energy that comes from treating your body as a temple rather than a trash can. This is the raw fuel for your unignorable days. Your sleep is not negotiable. It is cognitive recalibration. Your nutrition is not a diet. It is strategic fueling. Your movement is not a chore. It is a celebration of capability. When you walk into a room having conquered your own weakness at dawn, you carry a quiet, unshakable authority. People sense it. It's in your posture, your gaze, the energy you emit. A well-managed physical existence communicates self-respect, discipline, and vitality. It says you have mastered the most fundamental domain, the self. This is not about being the strongest in the gym, it is about being the most consistent in your commitment. This physical foundation allows you to endure when others exhaust, to maintain clarity under pressure when others crumble, to bring a vibrant, sustained energy to your work that makes you a locus of productivity and power. Your vitality is a silent announcement of your seriousness. Now, with core, mind, and body aligned, we move to the stage of strategic creation, the cult of mastery. Invisible people do what is asked. Unignorable people create what is needed before the request is even made. They move from consumption to creation, from commentary to contribution. This is where you must disappear into the deep work of mastering your craft, of solving a meaningful problem with such depth and elegance that you become the obvious, the only solution. This is the era of the surface level, of the quick hack, of the shortcut to nowhere. Your power lies in going deep where others are shallow. Choose your field, your skill, your art, and then dedicate yourself to it with the devotion of a monk. 10,000 hours is not a cliché, it is the price of entry for world class. But it must be deliberate practice, focused, feedback-driven, relentlessly pushing the boundaries of your ability. Study the masters who came before you, not to copy, but to comprehend the principles they operated on. Then innovate. Apply your unique perspective, your Obsidian Core to that field. What can you see that they cannot? What new combination can you create? Carnegie mastered the technical details of steel, but his real mastery was in the organization of production and the psychology of scale. He saw the system. You must see the system within your domain. Become so proficient, so knowledgeable, so ahead of the curve that your expertise becomes a gravitational pull. Create a body of work, projects, solutions, writings, designs, code, strategies that stands as an irrefutable monument to your competence. This portfolio is your voice in your absence. It speaks with a clarity and authority that no resume ever could. Do not chase trends. Build fundamentals so strong that you set the trends. This deep mastery breeds a quiet, unshakable confidence that is the antithesis of arrogance. Arrogance is loud insecurity. True confidence is a silent knowing, a knowing that you have faced the complexity of your craft and have prevailed. When you speak from this depth, your words have weight. You do not need to claim authority, it is self-evident. This is how you transition from being a voice in the crowd to being the voice the crowd turns to for direction. Yet, mastery in a vacuum is still a form of invisibility. We must now engineer your signal, the art of strategic visibility within your mastermind. This is not shameless self-promotion, it is the disciplined broadcasting of value. Hill's mastermind principle is your amplifier. You must intentionally curate your inner circle, not a network of contacts, but a council of allies. These are the few individuals whose minds, when aligned with yours in spirit of perfect harmony toward a definite purpose, create a third, invisible mind of infinite intelligence you can both tap into. Choose them with the gravity of choosing a business partner for life. Look for complementary skills, unwavering character, and a shared commitment to growth. Contribute to them tenfold what you ask in return. Solve their problems, champion their wins. This circle becomes your force multiplier, your reality check, your source of unparalleled leverage. Then, from this place of fortified strength and deep creation, you must signal your value to the wider world. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not chase ships, it simply stands, emits a powerful, consistent beam, and the ships that need guidance find it. Your beam is your valuable perspective, your solved problems, your unique insights. Share them consistently, across a channel you own and control. Write, speak, create content that educates, that challenges, that inspires action. Teach what you have learned on your path to mastery. Document your journey. Your goal is not viral fame, it is magnetic relevance. You are building a reputation as a thinker, a doer, a problem solver. You are attracting your tribe, those who are aligned with your Obsidian Core and who will benefit from your mastery. This consistent value-first signaling does two things. It solidifies your own understanding. To teach is to learn twice, and it positions you as a node of value in your ecosystem. When opportunities arise, your name appears not as a stranger's, but as that capable person whose work they have seen, whose thinking they respect. You become top of mind. This is the bridge between deep work and wide impact. Your signal cuts through the noise not because it is loudest, but because it is clearest, most consistent, and most valuable. As you ascend this path, you will encounter the final, most critical transition, the shift from ambition to legacy, from accumulation to contribution. The highest form of being unignorable is to become indispensable, to weave your value so deeply into the lives of others that your absence would create a void. This is the principle of going beyond self. True power is not held, it is bestowed upon you by those you have served and elevated. When your work, your company, your art, your teaching solves a fundamental problem for a large number of people, you cease to be a person and become an institution. Your name becomes synonymous with a solution. Think of Rockefeller and the systematization of oil. Flawed giant though he was, he solved the problem of light and energy for a nation. Think of Curie and the pursuit of knowledge, giving her very life to radiation that would later heal millions. Their focus shifted from my success to the solution. This is the ultimate magnification. To get here, you must cultivate a mindset of radical generosity. Look for ways to add outrageous value without an immediate expectation of return. Mentor with sincerity. Share opportunities freely. Use your growing influence to lift others who share your ethos. This is not altruism. It is the highest form of strategy. It builds an army of advocates, an ecosystem of goodwill that protects and propels you. It also aligns you with a law older than Hill, the law of reciprocity in its purest form. The energy you put into the world, of uplift, of solution, of empowerment, returns to you multiplied, often from sources you could never have predicted. Your legacy is built not on what you kept, but on what you gave. Your influence becomes unignorable because it is rooted in respect, not fear, in gratitude, not obligation. So let today be the line of demarcation. Let the old identity of the agreeable ghost, the capable but quiet operator, the person of endless potential, be buried with honors. It served its purpose to bring you here, to this moment of awakening. From this breath forward, you are a different entity. You walk with the steady pace of someone who knows their destination is inevitable. You speak with the clarity of someone who has consulted their Obsidian Core. You work with the depth of a master who respects the craft. You build relationships as a curator of a collective destiny. You face setbacks as a grateful student of the game. You contribute with the generosity of one who knows the source is infinite. You are no longer waiting for your turn. You have recognized a profound truth. The turn is yours to create. The world is not a stage with limited lighting. It is a dark sky, and you are deciding right now to become a star of such intensity that you create your own constellation, pulling others into your orbit, guiding by your own light. You are done whispering. You are done hoping to be noticed. You are building a reality where to ignore you is to ignore progress itself. You are leaving the shadows, not to step into someone else's spotlight, but to become the source of light. The transformation is total. The invisible has become essential. The overlooked has become the obvious. You have become unignorable. Now the only task that remains is to go forth and with every action, every creation, every silent act of discipline, prove it to a world that is already, whether it knows it or not, waiting for you.